6 minutes to midnight. Time for one more story. I could tell you the story about the old crone that lives up in here, the one with no eyes. I can tell you about the owl that stands as tall as a man. But those are stories for a different time. For you, I'm going to tell you the story on why you don't answer when someone calls your name out here.
Not very long ago, a young couple, Ben and Lori were their names, I do believe. They were married for a few years. He was a machinist. He was good at his job. Lori was a homemaker. Nice girl, good heart. They wanted a weekend away, just the two of them. So they came here, to Cabway-Lingo. And they stayed at the same cabin that you three are bunking at tonight. They continued their afternoon, settling in, unpacking, letting the cabin breathe around them, getting a feel for their new surroundings, not knowing what waited just beyond the wood line. A silence hung in the trees, watching, waiting. Something was already there, and it had been there for a very long time. Ben was the first to hear it. A faint, playful call just out of eyesight. He shrugged it off. Lori heard the same voice as well, while she was wandering through the forest. Ben heard it again, but this time it was Lori's voice. Clear as day, drifting from the trees. His blood ran cold when he came in and saw Lori writing in her diary.
Were you just outside?
No, I've been in here. I've been hearing weird things all day since we got here.
Honey, I think we should stay inside tonight.
I wish I could tell you that they remained safe. That staying inside, they didn't see anything. But if that was the case, I wouldn't be telling you the story.
My granny always said if these woods learn your name, they'll use it to draw you in deeper. They were startled awake by 3 knocks at the front door. Ben got up and opened the door expecting a ranger, maybe a hiker. But what stood there was something else, something older.
Come outside.
And wearing a woman's shape. Lori heard Ben's voice drifting from those woods. She knew her husband never left the cabin. The call tugged at her bones, pulling her towards the dark.
Come outside.
Lori's soft voice pulled him like a hook, making him blind to what had already seeped into their cabin. He stepped outside. He didn't get far. Those who feed the roots were waiting. And they took him. Ben came to with his head pounded, time lost to the dark. His eyes blurry and weak, strained against the black. These woods, they're older than the letters on that welcome sign out there. Older than the blacktop roads that carried you in here. Long before men staked their claims and carved out maps, these trees were already here, watching, listening, remembering. And what they remember, you don't want to know. Things too cruel for human eyes. Truths that most folks refuse to understand. That's why they laugh. That's why they turn away. But the roots don't forget. The roots don't forgive. They hunger. And the Tree King, he demands that hunger be fed. No prayer, no promise, no pleading can spare you once he calls. The roots will take their due, and the Tree King will be satisfied. I'd like to tell you that Ben broke his bonds and that he dragged Lori back into the light, and together they escaped this nightmare and lived happily ever after. But this story doesn't end that way. Their hearts were offered to the Tree King, and he was pleased. Pleased as he has been with countless others before them. Their essence is no longer their own. It seeps through the soil, winds through the roots, and breathes in every shadow of this land. Now you're probably wondering, why hasn't this place been crawling with cops? Because out here there are powers older than the law, and those who serve the Tree King sees to it that his forest is never touched, and that the sacrifices never stop.
The next morning, it was as if they weren't even here. The only thing left of those two were faded missing posters attached to telephone poles.
If they disappeared, then how do you know that?
Of course I know that's how it happened. It always happens that way. Just like how our grandparents used to do it.